Choosing Home by ginnyrules27, Chapter 43. Emir sighed as he knocked on the door of his parents' study. It wasn't often he asked if he could borrow his dad's flying carpet. Normally he just took it out and dealt with the consequences when he got back. But this was the one time he hoped beyond hope that his dad said yes. It would completely ruin his proposal plans if he said no. The forecast was calling for a completely cloudless night, with an almost completely full moon. There was no better night. There would be no better night. Besides, he had faced his fears and asked Snow for her permission. There was no backing out now. Flashback. Emir sighed as he entered Snow White's castle. In all honesty, he was more nervous than he thought possible. Yes, he loved Emma with all his heart, but he didn't really think her parents would necessarily approve of him proposing. After all, he was only the second son of Agrabah, while Emma was not only the heir to her throne, but the unofficial heir to Auradon's throne. They'd probably want her to marry someone who was the first in line for his own throne, as to make sure the guy wasn't trying to pull her Hans with their daughter. Not that Emir necessarily blamed them for that. Your Highness? Emir asked as he walked into the throne room, a servant letting them in.
Emir,
Snow said with a smile, though Emir happened to note that she was restringing her bow. If that was something she often did in the throne room, he had no idea, but it definitely didn't help his nerves.
Come on in.
Yes, Your Highness.
Emir nodded, and he was thankful he pulled a Ben for this, and wore a suit and tie. The last thing he'd want was to give the wrong impression, even though he'd known the royal family for years.
Emma's out right now, David added. She's having a girls' day with Princess Earl. Actually, I was hoping to ask you a question,
Emir said. He knew Emma was out after all. Akio had asked her to get Elle out of her castle, so that he could ask permission of Ariel and Eric.
Oh? What do you want to ask?
Snow asked, a small smile pulling at her lips. Suddenly overtaken by nerves, Emir dropped down into a bow, one knee raised while the other rested on the stone floor, and looked down at the floor.
I wanted to ask for your permission to ask for Emma's hand in marriage, he said.
You want to ask for what now?
David,
Snow said with a light scolding colouring her tone. She could see how nervous Emir was, and it probably didn't help the fact that she was restringing her bow.
Snow, you honestly think I'm...
Emir has never done anything to harm Emma, and has brought her more happiness than I could think possible,
Snow said.
It's clear that they love each other, and I doubt they'd be getting married before King Ben.
Snow leaned forward and whispered in David's ear. Besides, David, Emir is one of King Ben's best friends. You honestly think he would try to pull a Hans?
No, David sighed, but I don't want to see her grow up too fast, Snow.
Neither do I, David. But you and I both know that if Emma finds out we said no for no legitimate reason, she'd never talk to us again. Or worse, she'd elope. I know you would rather walk your little girl down the aisle than miss out on that chance. David sighed once more and nodded. Snow smiled and gently kissed his cheek, before looking back at Emir.
Emir, you know you don't have to bow,
she said, amusement audible in her voice.
I think I speak for both David and myself when I say that we would be more than happy to give our approval of you proposing to Emma.
You would?
Emir asked, looking up at the two royals with his eyes filled with hope.
We would,
Snow nodded.
Emir grinned. Great. Thank you so much, Your Majesties. I hate to ask, but may I ask for one more favour?
Depends on what that favour is, David said with a slight grumble.
Can you help me stand? I think I've lost all feeling in my legs.
David couldn't help but chuckle, as he felt a bit of sympathy for the younger boy. While he may not have asked permission from Snow's parents, the dwarves were intimidating in their own right.
"Come on,"
he said as he got up from his throne and helped Emir to his feet. "Can't have my future son-in-law as a statue in the throne room, now can I? Emma wouldn't stand for that."
"I wouldn't be too quick, sir. Emma could still say no,"
Emir said with a small sigh.
I hope she doesn't."
"Is there something you're wanting to ask, Emir?" Jasmine asked with a small chuckle as she noticed her son in the doorway.
"Oh, yes." Emir nodded. Dad? I was wondering if I could borrow carpet tonight."
"What's the occasion?" Aladdin asked. "Security sweep for Ben?" Emir shook his head.
No. Nothing like that. I have a date with Emma, and with how nice it's supposed to be tonight, I just thought it was a good night for it."
"Relax, Emir." Aladdin chuckled. "You're acting as if I'm going to chop your arm off for asking. If you want to take carpet out, you can."
"Really?"
"Of course," Aladdin said. "On one condition."
Emir nodded. "I'll make sure carpet's as clean as he was when he left. I'll make it back for curfew. I won't have anyone else on carpet other than Emma. Emir! Emir!"
"Yes, Dad?" Aladdin chuckled. "God, why are you so nervous today? I was just going to say don't go too far up. It's going to be cold tonight too, and carpet's probably getting up there in age. I don't know how he'd handle any icing that might happen. And the last thing I want is for anything to happen to you or Princess Emma."
"Oh, right."
Emir nodded, feeling more than a little foolish for how jumpy he'd been.
"Sorry, Dad."
"For what?" Aladdin asked.
Being jumpy."
Aladdin shook his head and looked over at Jasmine before looking back at his second son.
"Emir, you can't help feeling nervous.
But is there anything you want to talk to us about, son? You know you can always come to us."
Actually," Emir said, "I want to propose to Emma."
He braced himself for the outburst of his father insisting he was too young, and his mother crying at the idea of losing her son. "We were wondering when you might say that," Jasmine said with a small chuckle. "Considering you were almost out for 2 hours helping Akio set up a picnic in the enchanted forest, came back, and showered for another 2 hours to, quote, get the stench of reindeer off of me, end quote," Aladdin said. Something tells me you don't want Akio beating you to the punch."
"Well, I mean, I'm not exactly in the mood to deal with the advice from his love-expert grandparents,"
Emir muttered, but then paused.
"Wait, you knew?"
"You two are not the most subtle," Aladdin chuckled. "Plus, I've got about 5 texts from Akio demanding to know where you were to help set up for the proposal before he realized he was texting me and not you."
"He did?"
Emir asked, wincing slightly as he pictured the embarrassed look on his best friend's face as he realized just who he'd texted.
"He did."
Aladdin nodded. "Don't worry. Princess Emma's a sweet girl, and we'd be happy to have her in the family."
"You would?"
"Of course we would," Jasmine said, walking over and giving her son a hug. "Any girl who can handle one half of the Chaos Brothers is a girl we'd want in our family."
Emir chuckled, but then tilted his head. "How do you know about the nickname Chip gave us?"
"Because I'm your mother, and I know everything."
"She asked Genie," Aladdin told him.
"Ah, that makes sense." Emir chuckled as Jasmine shook her head in amusement.
"So I can have carpet?"
"You can. No later than midnight, and don't go up too high, remember?"
Right, the ice."
Emir nodded, and grinned as he scurried out of the study to get changed into something more proposal-worthy than what he wore to set up Akio's picnic, or the day-to-day clothing he had grabbed before or after his shower. Before he knew it, he was at the front door of Snow White's castle once more, hoping beyond hope that the date would go well. "Emir!" Emma said, grinning as Emir handed her a bouquet of flowers. "They're beautiful."
"Only the best for you,"
he told her. Oh, stop. Emma giggled before looking over her shoulder. Mum, Dad, I'm heading out.
What time would you like her home by? Amir asked. The usual time of 11?
Sounds good. David nodded, feeling his stomach clench as he looked at his daughter. She had grown up too fast. It had been as if he'd blinked, and she went from a tiny baby he could protect with ease to a grown woman able to live her own life.
Thank you, sir.
Amir nodded and slipped his hand into Emma's, leading her out onto carpet. Pulling out all the stops tonight, aren't you? Emma chuckled as carpet took off. When's the last time you took me on a carpet ride?
I think for our second date,
Amir said.
Considering our first date was family day.
You mean the day you spent with Ben and Akio, and I spent it chasing Neil around the grounds for implying we'd be finding an empty classroom to spend time in?
The very same.
Amir chuckled. I honestly thought I was going to kill Neil for that comment, Emma said, shaking her head. Honestly, it's one thing to make a comment like that in front of our friends, but in front of our parents?
As much as I love spending time with you, I'm kind of glad he made that comment, Amir said. I wouldn't have gotten to see Ben take Leah down otherwise.
Wait, I missed that? Emma asked with a slight pout.
I'm sure it's recorded somewhere, Amir told her. After all our cameras have phones. All our phones have cameras. We managed to record Ben's song and dance number at championship game, didn't we?
By record, you mean give everyone a headache because we were all bouncing around and dancing to his song?
Of course I do. What do you take me for?
Emma giggled and squealed slightly as carpet did a loop-de-loop through the clouds. The clouds that were not supposed to be there. Stupid, lying weatherman. Seems carpet has a mind of his own.
Or I just wanted you to see the stars,
Amir said, his voice soft as he took in the majesty of the night sky above him.
Okay, thank you, carpet, for taking us higher than we're supposed to go,
he thought, his hand clutching the ring box in his jacket pocket. You okay? Emma asked. You got quiet, which isn't exactly normal for you.
I'm okay, Amir said. Emma, I have a question for you. One I hope you'll answer honestly.
Okay, shoot.
Marry me?
Emma paused as Amir brought out the ring box and opened it to show her the ring inside.
I can't get down on one knee, in fear that I'll cause us to spill out of the carpet. But I mean it, Em. Every day with you shows me a whole new world I never thought possible. The fact that you're fine with me spending so much time shadowing Ben, even if that means sometimes our dates are spaced out. You're one of the best sparring partners a guy could ask for, and your wit is outmatched by none. You've become more than my girlfriend. You're one of my best friends, and there's no one else I want to spend the rest of my life with. Emma Mary White. Will you marry me?
Yes! Emma exclaimed without hesitation. Yes, Amir! Yes, I'll marry you! Was there ever a doubt in your mind I'd say no?
Yes?
Emma chuckled and gently kissed him on the lips. I love you, you goof. The day we started dating, I fully accepted the fact that I'd be dating not only you, but technically Ben and Akir too, in a way. Elle, Mal and I have had a joke that we gained 3 boyfriends for the price of 1, and now it seems we've gained 3 fiancés for the price of 1 too.
How do you know about that?
You and Akio never do anything apart, Emma said as Amir gently slid the ring onto her finger. She smiled and laid her head on his shoulder. Someday my prince will come. Someday I'll find my love, she sang softly as Amir held her tight. I was just lucky I found my love within my friend group.
You know, Ben actually had to talk me into asking you out. I thought you deserved better.
Who could be better than you?
Ben asked the same thing, actually.
Emma chuckled. Remind me to send Ben a thank you note then. Because, knowing you, you would have dragged your feet until everyone in your life was set up with their love lives before focusing on yours.
The fact that you know me so well is a little unsettling.
Is it really?
No.
Emma smiled as she held up her ring to admire it. I love the fact that you chose an opal instead of something like a diamond.
Well, it's a birthstone, Amir told her. I wanted something a bit more personal than just tradition.
Well, you certainly did that, Emma said. I've never seen a more beautiful ring. I think it even beats the ring Ben gave to Mal.
Amir grinned and kissed the top of her head. You know what? Something tells me they'll be able to hear your mother's squeals from the aisle.
Oh, most certainly, Emma grinned. The only squeals that will be louder will be your mother's.
True, very true,
Amir nodded as Carpet took them on another loop.
Though Akio's managed to pop the question by now, right?
Considering it's night time, I'd hope so, Emma giggled. He's had all day to propose to Elle, after all. And judging by how our phones are buzzing, I'd say that's him confirming he's asked Elle.
You're more than likely right,
Amir said with a chuckle as he pulled out his phone and hit decline.
I can talk to him in the morning. I'd rather spend time with my fiancé.
Emma smiled and rested her head on his shoulder once again. I think that sounds like a great idea, because I know I've got a pretty great fiancé myself.
Well then, sounds like we've got a plan, Amir said with a small smile as Carpet continued to carry them across the night sky, both royals content to just enjoy the view and each other's company. End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed that one. Oh my god, that was beautiful. Fun fact for those of you who don't know, Emma and Neil and many other characters are named after characters in Once Upon a Time. Bobby and Roland Hood are the names of Robin Hood's children in there, along with Robin, his daughter. Things like that. I absolutely love that. Surprised there wasn't a Henry mixed up in there somewhere, but then again, we've already got a Henry. Maybe that's what Amir and Emma will name their son. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night or whatever time zone you're in. Bye my guys, gals and non-binary pals. I'll see you in another video. Take care.